Welcome to Mastering Music with Matthew. This is part 3 of our changes to the music industry, and we're going to be talking today about some copyright stuff that's been happening to me on my channel on YouTube. I've got a bunch of people that have some channels and a panel, and we're going to discuss it. Jennifer Valaquette is with me today, the saxophone flute player. We have Sara Olsen, songwriter, singer, and music artist. We have Rashad, and Rashad is the leader of the funk band, the Hot Minute Funk. And we have the founder and CEO of Buckget.com. We got a way to monetize your social media. Go to Buckget.com and you can find out more. And you can pay me for the ad when we're done. All right, just kidding. All right, so everybody, we're talking about changes to the music industry, part 3, and unfortunately, I have some news here I want to talk to you about. First of all, you know, on YouTube, when you're making a music channel, you can see here the monetization ineligible, right? You can see how many of my videos are ineligible for monetization. Some of them are off because they're bonus features. There are quite a few where it's on, especially the Christmas songs were pretty good about that. But you can see a lot of these that says ineligible.
Yeah.
There's a couple reasons for that. Some of them are cover songs where I'm not able to in any way monetize it. Some of them are my original songs where they're being monetized through my distributor. And some of them are cover songs that have been monetized through a website called wearethehits.com. So, started out, real quick story. I got a copyright strike for singing Desperado on YouTube. It was a horrible crime, and so I investigated what can I do to license songs so I don't have my channel deleted. I made 300 videos or so in the last year. I don't want my channel down, you know? So I'm like struggling, what am I going to do? And I joined this thing called We Are the Hits. It's basically a division of Universal Music Group that has all of their music that you can license it, and it's a big giant share of the music industry, although it's certainly not everything. But a lot of the songs you might want to cover will go there. So, why is this relevant to YouTube copyright? Well, they were doing their job pretty good. They were, and you know, they're collecting some royalties, although taking the lion's share for themselves. Okay, whatever. Well, then, all of a sudden, this happened. Hi, Matthew's Music Lesson Studio. After a manual review, a copyright owner has claimed some material in your video. Your video is live, and the visibility settings you selected remain applied to it, but it is now either being monetized by the copyright owner, or they have chosen to receive analytics about it. This is not a copyright strike. This claim does not affect your account status. So here's the video. Music teacher reacts to Epica, Sancta Terra, featuring Floor Jansen live. First time reaction and review. Okay, this video already could not be monetized already because Epica is monetizing it. It's their song. However, this is now a second copyright claim that I'm receiving for wearethehits.com. And I'm like, what? What on earth are you talking about? I did not sing. What's the song that's copyrighted? Everything I Do It For You, fingerstyle acoustic cover with sax solo, Bryan Adams. Okay, so this is a video that I uploaded to YouTube that I uploaded first to We Are the Hits. And I sang the song. And at the end of the song, I had a 29-point-something second ad that some of you guys might be familiar with, where I say, "Hi, and thank you for joining me on Matthew's Music Lesson Studio. Please like, share, and subscribe. And did you know that you can get music lessons from me, yada, yada, yada." And I talk about my website and how awesome I am. Well, then I find out that the actual issue, the thing that they're talking about, okay, here's another view so you can see the two copyright claims. Epica, Sancta Terra, video cannot be monetized. This is perfectly correct. Everything I Do It For You, fingerstyle. This has absolutely nothing to do with Epica, Sancta Terra. What in God's name is We Are the Hits claiming? Okay, finally, Exhibit 3. We're going to see exactly what they're claiming. Do you see this picture here? between 8:39 and 9:09. This is me. I'm talking. This is me. Now, this is just a screenshot, so I can't play it, but this is my ad. Okay, so follow me. Because this ad that I made for my website was part of a video that was uploaded to We Are the Hits. We Are the Hits now thinks that it owns my ad and associates it with the song that the algorithm is triggering it. Everything I do it for you fingerstyle. And I have over 100 videos on my channel that have this ad in it. And one by one, YouTube is copyright claiming on my videos for my ad. For We Are the Hits, everything I do it for you fingerstyle. It's literally happened twice now.
That's insane.
Okay? It's only twice. So what did I do? Obviously, I don't want We Are the Hits taking money from Epica. That's not cool. So what did I do? I trimmed out my own ad. I had to trim out my own ad. Okay, so then second time it happened. Yeah. Second time it happened, I took those screenshots. That was actually the second time, not the first time it happened. And then I reached out via email. Hey, We Are the Hits. This is now happening over and over again. And I just like I explained to you guys, I sent them screenshots. I explained it. You know what they said? Our claim process is working correctly. And I said, but don't you understand? It's saying that an Epica reaction video is actually Bryan Adams. And they said, yes, we understand what you're saying. It's working correctly. And so basically, what I get from that is, somewhere in the fine print of the contract, somewhere, it's saying that anything I upload to them is now theirs, and screw you. Because I can't find any other explanation. Like, why they... And I wasn't, like, mad. I was like, I told them, hey, I trimmed it out already. Hey, no hard feelings. Is there any way we can prevent this from happening again? That's my only concern. And they said, no, you're on your own. Our system is working as it is intended to work. Reactions.
Screw you, right?
Yeah, really.
You need to self-promote on a T-shirt, Matt.
There you go.
So, correct me if I'm wrong, but doesn't YouTube have a feature where you can kind of put like a header or a footer clip in the videos? So therefore, that's where you can kind of input your, like I've seen videos where after the fact, the video is uploaded, they can put like header clips where like you can put your personal ad. So if you watch a video from 2 years ago, the creator can be like, hey, check out my new masterclass or whatever it may be. Is that a feature that you could utilize for the ad clip of yours?
I think so. I'm just ultimately going to make a new ad anyway. I've just been trying to just get more comfortable doing the live ad because I found that most people aren't watching my ad anyway. It's probably kind of a blessing in disguise if you look at it that way because, YouTube algorithm is all about, the audience retention rate and the click-through rate. So, like, if as soon as my ad starts, if everybody turns it off and, like 1% or 0% are watching that last 30 seconds, then it's really not big of a loss. My point in bringing this up is not, oh, you should feel bad for me because I had to trim my ad. The point is just this is how nitpicky these algorithms are now. I mean, this is 29 seconds, and it was just me yapping.
The machines is not.
Yeah, well, I think, so correct me if I'm wrong, how it works is that they essentially take a 1 and 0 algorithm of a song. It's like if you Shazam something, it's all ones and zeros, and it picks it up and says, hey, this song is this based on this content that we heard. And so it seems like the same thing's happening with your ad. They're saying, hey, your ones and zeros is getting recognized, and we're trying to protect it,
so crazy.
but fucking you over simultaneously.
Yeah.
So crazy.
I'm not going to pretend that I know why they're doing this. It almost feels to me like they're not really paying attention. Yeah, like it's some sort of an it's some sort of an algorithm that's making a mistake. Honestly, I think they're making a mistake.
I think they are too.
Well, there was no willingness to correct
it or anything.
Well, I'm not
Did
gonna
you fight it.
fight
Did you get
it.
a response or?
No, because if you try to fight it with YouTube, then they could give you a strike towards your account being deleted, and if I
Right.
tried resolving it with them, the only reason I didn't put all the emails up on the screen is because it was a lot of them, and I just didn't actually have the preparation time to go through photoshopping everything and make sure that blah blah blah. There was nothing I didn't want anybody to see because it was from my email and all this other stuff. So I just didn't take that final step with it. I just thought I'd make it quicker and just tell you what
Yeah.
happened and show you the screenshots that that are the smoking gun proof of this. It's screwed up. It's obviously automatic. It's just a computer. I'm not taking it personally. I just wanted to give some exposure to the level at which, I don't know if 30 seconds is the threshold at which it triggers at, or if it's 15 seconds, or it.
Mhm.
I have a 6-second introduction and a 7-second introduction that has not triggered either. So maybe
Yeah.
that's in a safe
I-
range. I don't know.
I feel like the 15 seconds thing. And this
It
is
used to be like that.
Yeah, this is like a different application, but I think we talked about this before, but Instagram, for example, I'll post like a TikTok for 30 seconds. They'll say, okay, it's a copyright. I'm like, really? It's just a fun song. But then if I post it for 15 seconds, they won't do anything. So I'm wondering if that's the same thing with the YouTube. With the 15 seconds would be okay, but if you do any longer than 15 seconds, then no. It's crazy though, but it's definitely automatic, I think, because they're very like scarce with how they do it. I noticed some songs are like, okay, that's fine, and then other songs is like, nope, it's not. It's weird.
Yeah. Like, for example, there are some channels that I watch that are commentary channels for films and TV shows, and they insert some clips of the movies and the TV shows that they talk about sometimes. And there are some people that already made this comment saying, like, you can insert a limited amount of time of that clip. If you like make it more, like make it longer, you kind of get a copyright claim as well.
Yeah.
So I'm not sure if that works that way. But on Instagram, as you said, that's the main reasons why they connected. Like right now, Reels connects. I think it's Apple Music with Instagram or whatever. Now you can add the songs inside of the platforms, because
Right.
whatever is like the big hit, the major hit that you put in there, even if it's like, I mean, it's just 10 seconds or whatever, they might claim something out of it. It's just insane. They're just
It
trying to get
is.
every single penny out of it. And I mean, I get it. And at the same time, it's a bit weird,
Yeah, and I always wonder sometimes why they don't say anything about my saxophone covers. I guess because there's no words in it. I don't know. And also,
Maybe,
I improvise on it too a lot. So I don't know. It's weird. It's just weird how they do it sometimes. It's like I just
Yeah. Well, if
One time I had what was it, 110 domain names taken from me because they too closely resembled some of the Match.com's domain names.
wow.
It's whoever has the money has the power.
Yeah.
It's crazy. I wonder how they do it. Like, what is it? Like some computer that just
Yeah, it's a computer.
I guess.
It's
Yeah.
like, it is like, for example, my song at Same Time that I made with Andy Dawson. The instant that I put that on YouTube, the music video for it got a copyright claim, but it was an original song. It's because it resembled another song, and then I had to fight a dispute against it to be able to get the things, like it's me, it's an original,
Yeah.
So,
What?
Yep.
And I think it's I think that makes live performances and live recordings more valuable if that's the case. It's
I
like
think so.
you don't see a lot of live stuff getting ticked because the audio is different enough that the ones and zeros don't perfectly match up. So,
Right.
but I think that the platform that YouTube does for some of this stuff, where like I'll watch Matthew's music teacher reacts, or there's another one I like, guitar teacher reacts, and he can insert the claim to who it is. Say he's Grateful Dead. The whole Grateful Dead camp or whoever's handling that gets those royalties, and then it just helps promote his channel. So it's like I was talking about in part 2, where it's like you can use these copyrights in these situations That's promotion for your own material. Like you're latching yourself onto this moving train. Hey, I need to get up to 162nd, you know?
Yeah, like I haven't gotten any copyright anything. I think is it because maybe I do the ads on mine? Is that why? I don't know. Like my saxophone stuff.
It's
Maybe,
weird.
maybe.
Yeah.
I have a question. If you actually label the video or the work or whatever on whatever it's on as like let's say cover or parody, that doesn't make a difference, does it?
No, it doesn't. It doesn't
No.
even make a difference. And not even if you put in the description, I do not own anything of the song, etc. It
Yeah.
doesn't matter. They are analyzing the song, the audio, and the video, like to see if you have any similar images to whatever it's out there and is owned by bigger companies or sounds similar to something out there already. All
Well,
my
I'm sure the
covers, they get
title,
copyrighted
too.
claim. Yeah, anything. It doesn't matter. You can put like 1, 2, 3. They're gonna analyze things. Before, I remember before they had a way that you could like kind of trick the algorithm and you wouldn't get caught because you can use some keywords or avoid using some keywords or
Yeah.
anything in the description, in the tags, and in the title. But right now, it doesn't really matter.
Doesn't matter.
It's very smart.
I don't like that here. Oh, go ahead.
Oh, sorry. I'm sorry. I was gonna say I keep picturing, you know, the spaceship Earth ride from Epcot, or the end with those big
Yeah.
computers, like when you
Yeah.
pass it. I keep picturing that being like the copyright thing, like there's big computers, and then. Anyway, sorry, that was just a little joke.
I had a thought back on what Sarah was saying when she was saying that your video got striked because it was too similar to another song. See, that's where I start seeing this territory, copyright territory, to get shady, because then that means like any style of music or genre of music is being like gatekept even harder. It's like you can't even sound or be inspired by another band or an artist without getting some money taken from you. Like that's what artists have been doing forever since the beginning. You know, the blues and jazz and all that stuff.
Yeah.
It's like that to me, that is a big scare and a big problem, because it's like, oh nope, you use the pentatonic scale in this song, strike. Like, you know.
If it ever got to that, man. If it ever got to that. Oh my god.
I mean, I disputed with YouTube, so they gave me, they were like, oh, okay, yeah, you're right, that's an original song, but basically it's like at first the little robot, whatever that checks out everything, it was like, oh, it sounds a bit like that, so maybe it's that, and I'm just gonna take it down once before doing any further investigation, you know. So they just cut it off at first before doing anything else, because they don't want to have to deal with it. I think that's the reason why they're doing that, because YouTube, the platform, doesn't want to deal with the copyright claims like that. So it's better if, like, okay, immediately shut it off, and then later, if we talk about it and you're right, then we can review the situation.
Yeah. So YouTube saying, hey, it's easier to ask for forgiveness than for permission.
Yep.
Yeah, basically.
So what happens if you Google the letter you got? Like if you Google that text, do other people get those, and are they able to dispute them effectively, or?
The only thing I was concerned about was, you know, that it was fraudulent. It was, like you know, like if I literally had, like, in the middle of that reaction video, like just for some random reason started singing the Bryan Adams song, like, you know, I for some reason, oh, it reminded me of this section of this song, woo, whatever. But dude, like if I actually did that, okay, well, I'm okay, yeah, he can get a cut too, whatever. But you know, the point was that it was, you know, the ad for my website. That was just what it just made it like insulting, because, you know, I was literally having to silence myself. And that is just, it was one of the hardest things I've ever had to do. Because it's like, man, like do I fight this, or is it even worth it?
I'm Matt Campbell.
It was
Bryan
where
Adams.
the risk, like unlike in Sarah's place. In Sarah's place, the risk was, it was worth a copyright strike, right? But for mine, it was just a 30-second ad that, like I said, you know, most people weren't watching anyway, and so who cares? Like it was the eye-opening factor of the story is what I wanted to share,
Yeah.
because I never imagined that it got down to this micro detail level of copyright insanity.
Well, I'm willing to bet
Yeah.
that the hip hop guys have a large influence on it because they've done a good job at making sure that the beat makers or the producer of the beat still gets paid. But there's a lot of guys, underground cats or whatever it may be, who are going onto YouTube to MP3, ripping the song, then taking it to the studio, being like, "Yeah, bro, here's my beat," and it's like a 12-bit YouTube rip, and then recording over it, and maybe by the grace of God that becomes a hit. Well, the guy who had put that beat on YouTube says, "Yo, that's my beat. I didn't even know this guy. What's going on here?" But then, like, let's say that's a hit, and then every other kid is like, "Oh, I'm gonna take that same beat," but it's like that beat's now allocated to this one hit,
Yeah.
and so I can
Something
see why the
similar
algorithm
happened.
gets
That sounds
more.
exactly
Yeah.
like Sting versus P Diddy. I'll be
Yeah, that's
watching you.
exactly what happened. Yeah.
Hmm.
Yeah, and
Something that happened. Sorry.
P
Go
Diddy
on.
and all those guys, Mace, they got nothing. Sting got everything.
That's crazy.
Yeah,
The band didn't get anything either. Just Sting.
for that Police song, right?
Yeah, but the Police got nothing. Only Sting.
Well, because okay, so that comes full circle. One of the arguments that Spotify is making, going back to part two, is that well, hey, at least Spotify is paying the band something. For the radio, the bands didn't get anything. What who got was 50% to the publisher and 50% to the songwriting credit owners. So, Spotify's whole argument is, yeah, we can pay you like shit because, we're paying you something. You wouldn't get anything
Yeah.
if you weren't the songwriter otherwise. And so, right to work
So
cheap.
it's up to us to publish our works on places that actually have good payouts, and sort of boycott the ones that have bad payouts until they increase their payouts, right? In a way.
That would
Well,
work if everyone did it.
I think that old model of like all the songwriter credits go here, the band gets paid, nothing. It's just I don't know if that's like the new agreement I have with my band is that I wrote the songs; those are my songs. If we record them, then there's performance royalties versus like songwriter royalties.
Right.
So it's like, and depending on where that recording goes, it's going to get split. So it's like, hey, good job, you wrote the song, here's your money. We recorded and performed this particular version that's getting played. So then that gets split evenly. But I still get my cut for being like, I wrote this.
Songwriter. Yeah.
Right.
And I think
Well, you
that's
should,
totally
yeah.
reasonable,
Yeah.
It is.
You should. Yeah.
Well, and then there's also bands where they split it like the music section is written by everyone who played a note or more, right? And then the lyrics section, however, is written by the person or persons that actually, penned the lyrics. And that's usually, in a lot of bands' cases, not necessarily the singer, but it could be the singer, just depending on that band's arrangement. Like, for example, Rush, Neil Peart was the lyricist, and he never sang anything. So, but then as a drummer, he was also contributing to the music because he wrote his drum parts. So, he may have got an unequal cut because he wrote the lyrics or whatever, but that was how they did it, in the day or whatever.
And a fully democratic band says, hey, we're going to put everything in one pot and we're going to split it. But I think about if I hopped on as a bass player to somebody else's project, they're writing all the songs, they're booking all the shows, and I said, hell yeah, I'm taking 25%. But the workload significantly unbalanced. So I think it's important to have these discussions. But I think the old model of songwriters getting all of the radio credits, I don't know how I feel about that. I mean, I think it's good. Record labels worked out a way for the songwriters to get paid, but I think there's a better option.
Yep, and there's still not a way for me to license Desperado. I love that song. There's still not a way for
Yeah.
me to license it and put it up. You know, it's crazy. The last thing I wanted to say about this was when I was lucky enough to get to go on a couple of trips when I was younger to perform music in a couple of different exotic places around the world. And one place that I got to go was Australia.
That's
And
so cool.
yeah, I remember I got to stay two places in Australia. I got to stay in a family's house in Melbourne, and then I got to stay at a family's house. It was way out in the outback where we went looking for kangaroos at night. And I remember it was crazy, man. We found snakes, so we didn't find any kangaroos. But but anyway,
The
you know,
snakes ate the kangaroos.
they were so excited to have an American in
They were-
every house. Like, I swear they had a guitar, right? So I was in this house and they had a guitar and they're like, play for us, you know? And I was playing like Guns N' Roses or whatever. I was 15,
That's
so
so
you know.
cool.
And then they were like, can you play the Eagles, Desperado? And I had never even paid any attention to that. It was my dad's. They're like, oh, that's our whole family's favorite song. They played it for me, and they just were just drooling all over it. And I was like a little piece of shit. I was like, yeah, it's all right, whatever. and then later, like, I listened to it, you know, a few years later when I was a little bit more seasoned, and I really listened to the words, and I was like, wow. I catch the vibe of why they love this song so much, right? And then I made a cover of it, and they penalized me for it because,
Aw.
yeah, you know, and it's just it's crazy because it had to be that song.
Yeah. So that guy just doesn't want. Oh my
Yeah,
gosh.
and that's what it sounds like is happening, is that the bands are like, nope, we don't want anybody doing anything with our music. Like, we
Yeah.
can't trust this thing yet. There's another guitar React guy that I watch, and he does all these Grateful Dead videos. Everybody loves them. He's getting tons and tons and tons of views, and his channel's doing. He went to go do Fish, and got pulled immediately. He ended up getting in contact with the keyboard player from Fish, and he said, the guy's like, hey, we really appreciate that you're interested in our music, this, that, and the other, but like, the internet is the Wild West still, and if we start letting people use our content now, that could put us in a position down the road. If we let one person do it, we have to let everybody do it, and
Right.
so
That's
a lot of those
crazy.
guys, like the Eagles, Fish, they're just like, nope, hands off, don't touch
Jo-
our shit,
Yeah.
Each artist gets some autonomy over how much they're willing to allow people or not
Yeah.
to
I
use their
guess.
stuff, and that's kind of cool. But I can understand blocking. Where I always had an issue was the copyright strikes. I feel like that crosses the line.
Right.
That's just my opinion.
Yeah,
I think so.
the threat of closing you down is ridiculous. Why don't they
Yeah.
just
Censoring.
demonetize it? The end.
Exactly. Exactly.
Period. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm not arguing about that at all. Like, dude, if the band is gonna take the money from the video and like I'm reacting to them or I'm covering them, okay, that's fine. Sometimes the bands
They
will
can
revenue
have our
share with you
nickel,
too.
right? They can have their nickel back.
Yeah.
Yeah, and sometimes they will share. Like a couple times I looked on wearethehits.com and they didn't have a title, and then when I just went ahead and put it up on YouTube anyway, like I guess that songwriter had an independent agreement with YouTube, and then it was like, oh, this is revenue sharing, so I'm going to get some of the ad money, and they're going to get some of the ad money, and YouTube is handling the split, so I don't care. That's fine. That's great. That's better than me getting nothing. And, reacts and covers are both basically just advertisements for your music channel. Those are especially reacts, but covers too. The whole point of a band doing covers is to get people interested in the band, so they want to
Yep.
come see them at the shows and buy the original music and their merch and wear the T-shirts and all this stuff. So unfortunately, we have less than a minute left in this meeting. I love you guys. Thank you so much for joining me today. And I want to thank you guys. I'll check out all their links in the description. Make sure that you check out my channel, like, subscribe, share this video, and I'll see you guys next time on Mastering Music with Matthew.